presenting Channeling Erik's Hour of Enlightenment.
Hello, one. Hello, all. We got my beloved son, Erik. Hello, Erik. I love you. And we have the awesome and graceful medium, Denise Ramon at DeniseRamon.com. And then, of course, we have Michelle Gray, my co-host, the healing-art.com. We are like the Three Musketeers right now. Yay!
Yay! Hi, Mom. Love you.
Hi. But we're going to take callers, of course. But before we do that, we are going to be talking about why right now is the best time to be working on oneself. That's it. What's the most important thing, right? Yeah, put your oxygen mask on first, people. You know, it is selfish not to be self-loving because it does not help the collective at all. So that's my feeling. I'm working on it too, okay? But anyway, without further ado, I will let Denise and Michelle and Erik take over.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
Hi. I love me some Denise.
Me too. Denise, you want to start out, seeing what Erik has to say about this, or your own 2 cents first?
Erik says, let's bring his 2 cents in first before mine. That's what he's telling me. And he says, hello, everyone. Erik says this is a really crucial time to work on oneself because everything, and he means in a general sense, can be quite aggravating with everything that's going on. He says it can be aggravating, with employment. It can be aggravating on the traffic. Your kids can be aggravated. Your spouses can be aggravated. Not to say that you're not aggravated.
I aggravate my own self.
That's what he just said. You're self-aggravated. Yeah. So, and what that happens is it's kind of he says it kind of teaches you how to pause because it takes you away from, like, instead of looking at the whole picture, it kind of takes you away. But it also is a pause moment. And he says, this is a good time to look in and say, okay, what's not feeling good with myself? He says, this is such a good time to allow everything else to be as is and really look like, why is the traffic aggravating me? Why am I getting so aggravated because I dropped something 3 times? Or why am I so aggravated because I can't find what I want? Or the person in front of me took the last bag of whatever it was. He's saying chips. I don't know if he's saying chips. But he says this is a really good time because everything is so aggravating within its own self. You're who you can work on and start loving and nurturing so you don't have to participate in that energy that's being aggravated. And he says, and the more you do that within your own self, he says, the less aggravated you feel about people on the outside. He goes, and then you allow things to be as they are. They can become quite comical. You kind of laugh at yourself because you tripped in the air or something, or you put your shirt on inside out or something, He says, and it's teaching you to kind of relax because he says, this is a time to, he says it's always a time, but he goes, this is a real crucial time to really look at yourself because you're the only thing that you can control. And right now, a lot of things feel so out of control.
So true. So true.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask this wonderful woman, and this was KW, told me that Erik, that we need to add an Atlanta Scalar service that gives you some freedom from, or for other people usually too, in your family or friends or loved ones, from harmful emotions, from resentment, guilt, shame, embarrassment, jealousy, envy, all of those, insecurity, dread, hopelessness, hesitation. And I think it's a great idea, Erik. I mean, is that really true? You want me to do that?
He says, yeah.
Okay, I'll get Lucas to get right on it. Look that up, put it up there.
He says yes. Yeah, I get yes also, Michelle, because he's saying right now, because the way things feel so heavy, and he says some of you understand this, some of you are learning, some of you don't. Some of this is real new language. He says, but we're all, the majority of us here are healing generational stuff, so it can feel real thick.
Yeah.
And this is why it's real important to just really focus on you, because because then it kind of, Erik always likes to give me the pizza analogy, a large pizza. Stop trying to eat the large pizza at once. Just take it a slice at a time and a bite at a time. And he says, really, we take ourselves a little bit too, he says, I'm going to take out that F word. We take too serious, he says. We take ourselves too seriously.
We're not ruled by the FCC. It's okay, but I know. Yeah, we do. And I know I hated when my mom said that when I was a teenager. It's like, lighten up. Oh, I hated that. And you guys know it's no fun. And, yeah, but she was right. So, yeah, so how do we do that, Erik? Michelle, ask Erik, what steps do we need to take so that we don't take ourselves and life, the hardships of life, et cetera, ourselves, so seriously?
Well, what Erik is saying is, he says, we're all going to come to a crossroad eventually with all of this. And he says, ask yourself the questions, investigate what hurts. Why does it hurt? Why does it bother you? He says, be okay with facing something that maybe you've pushed away before. Be okay with facing it. And he says, and love it. Practice loving it. Because he says the thing is the more we push away things and the more we don't look at them, the harder they become. And the further away we distance ourselves from them, and we start to lose that sense of joy. We start to lose that sense of wonder. And so he says, bring that back in. Bring it back in. So be okay with facing it. Show yourself some compassion.
So how do we love those difficult feelings? Is it we look at what they can teach us and be grateful for it? Is that how we love them?
Yes, he says. He goes, well, exactly, Mom. He says, because everything that we are experiencing from within us. And he goes, now, remember, he goes, some of you are going to be saying, yeah, but so-and-so did this to me and so-and-so did that to me. And it really, really ticks me off when they do that. And it's not my fault that they've made me upset. But he says, remember, I want you to look at the fact that when you have a reaction within you, that's within you. That reaction comes from within you, whether that's created from something you experienced in your past, something that you've held from within, because nobody on the outside of you can shake you unless you allow them to. And to be able to practice understanding what it is that is coming up in you, use the experiences of your relationships with other people, situations, to be that teacher. Because that's your very best teacher. In fact, the people that aggravate you the most can be your very best teacher.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty cool. Remember Adrian said in one of our interviews, Michelle, that that we are divine, and that the worst crime of all humanity was when the elites made us think that we are separate from the divine. Because then they use that divine, whether it's God or whatever, to control and oppress us. That was the way of wars. It caused so much horror and despair in humanity. But we have realized that we are not separate from the divine. We are whole and part of God. And so maybe something like that will help us in this working on ourselves thing, to realize that we are divine. We're not separated from God like we've been taught over centuries to believe.
That's true. And, Erik was sharing with me just before we started too. He was saying that, now is the best time because we're getting more light that's coming into us. So we're having on an energetic level, we're changing, more light's coming in. So as more light comes in, things will agitate us. And he says it agitates us because we have the belief somewhere that we're separate from the divine. Mm-hmm. So he says, you're right, Mom. This is exactly what it is. It's surrendering the pain, strengthening abilities, allowing yourself to hear, to feel, to be more connected to your guides, your intuition, to your higher self, to God, to Source, because that is what's natural. That is who we are. There is no separation.
That's right. A lot of us have a hard time believing. A lot of us have some self-loathing going on, and we don't love ourselves and think, I'm not divine. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. Well, Erik says that's part of it, though. That's part of it, to have that thought process in there to keep you separate. And that's one reason why there's so much pain and agony, is because even though we say we know there's no separate, we still, on another level, believe that we're separate, that we're not consciousness, we're not co-creator, we're not from the divine, and we cannot not be anything but that.
Yeah. Well, being separate, having a sense of some separation is important for the value of human experiences. Mm-hmm. But what if we actually knew on all levels that we are, not separate from the divine? What would happen then? Will we not learn anything anymore?
Erik says we'll always be learning, because that's what this planet, because of our humanness, he says we'll always learn, but it just doesn't have to be as painful. And he says, and as he says, as Michelle was talking about, giving it love, because he says when you give that parts of you that you're not liking, or the parts of the other people, or whatever it is that you're not liking, he says when you give it love, he says you're not resisting it anymore. Mm-hmm. And then there's nothing for it to push back on. Yeah, but this is why it's so important for us to look at loving and healing our own self.
Yeah, that's what they say, right? What you resist persists. It just keeps going on and going on, and getting stronger and stronger, and et cetera. So, what else, Erik? I mean, we're going to take callers too. So I don't know how much any practical advice for people as far as what they need to do to work on themselves. Not just talking about loving ourselves or realizing that we are part of the divine, not separate from it. Anything else that we need to use this time for to work on ourselves?
Erik is saying that reflection of any kind, in whatever way you're drawn to. So he says a great way to do it is to be able to write. He says whether you are going into the experiences where, let's say you have something that really triggers you, he says there's a couple ways you can do it. If you prefer to go into meditation and visualize and go through that experience and go into, what did I feel? Why did I feel that way? Allow yourself to go into it that way. But he says writing is an excellent way to do it. He says journaling and being able to express, because he says then you're allowing it to go into something. You're expressing it outside of yourself so that you can then view it, so that you can then understand it. He says the other thing is practicing being present, because in being present with yourself, you're able to actually see things from the state of the observer. You can actually observe yourself in real time and observe your reactions. And he says, and give yourself a challenge. Practice it. He says, practice looking at how you feel. And he goes, and it's not about perfection. It's not about going from one state of saying that this day I feel this way about myself, and then by the end of the day I'm going to be this awesome space, so I'm going to love myself perfectly. He goes, no, it's in slow steps. And just like Denise said, he says it's small bites. It's taking small bites, and it's challenging yourself to say, okay, today I'm going to do my very best to pay attention to how I feel. Today, if I notice a reaction coming up with me, and he says, you all know people in your life, you all know situations because you're all thinking about them right now of somebody who might trigger you or a situation that might come up in you. So take the time to actually say, okay, if this happens today, I'm going to look at that. I'm going to look at how I feel. He says, detach from the situation. Detach from the person. Don't look at it from the person.
Exactly. There's a post, I think it's called A Break from Being Human. That's an old one from Channeling Erik. That's really kind of cool. And it talks about this. It's like to raise yourself up at a higher perspective and look upon your life like it's a chessboard with the pieces, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And you just kind of review what has happened to you as a pawn kicked around by other pawns, or whether you were the chess player that moved the pawns around in your game of life, etc. Sort of an objective, bird's eye view of life sometimes can be quite refreshing and give you a different perspective. And another thing I think is important is, and I can't say enough about this, the little children's book written by Neil Donald Walsh, the guy who wrote the Conversations with God series, The Little Soul and the Sun, S-U-N. You must watch that so you can understand these toxic relationships in your life, whether it's a coworker or a family member or a friend. It doesn't make it, or a stranger. It doesn't make any difference. You can understand and develop so much compassion for those people and for yourself with that. So just go to the YouTube search bar and put in The Little Soul and the Sun narrated, or maybe it's narration. So you can. It's a children's one, okay? So don't laugh, but just it's really amazing.
It's real profound, that book. Very profound.
It is. Yeah, very.
Erik says that's good, Mom. Erik says that's good, Mom, about the chess analogy he's showing me, because in chess, you don't. It's not just one move. You don't just go one way. You can have up to 4 different strategies on how you do it. And he says, and that's where we are. We can have several different ways on how we want to look at it. And he keeps wanting me to mention this, and some people know me. I had 0 memory of being molested when I was around 2 by a neighbor.
Yeah.
0. There was a coworker who was just beyond cuckoo that got underneath my skin, and I had enough work that I knew that if somebody gets underneath my skin that bad, there's something within me going on. And so I just would write and start, where is this feeling familiar? And she was, her motive was what I thought it to be back then. And that's what kicked me into therapy, which then got me to starting to remember my abuse.
Wow.
I thanked her in my thoughts, not in person, but I thanked her in my thoughts.
That's pretty heavy.
And it is, and Erik's also saying, Denise, he says on top of that too is that's also understanding to really look at that example and everybody to see that there's a bigger picture to a lot of this stuff. And some things may be more profound than others, but he says this is what we talk about when we say we're clearing space, we're releasing. He says because we're going into the nitty-gritty, we're getting down deep inside, and sometimes we don't know exactly what that's going to be, but when we work through it, he says we're always going to stand on the other side of that bridge and go, wow, I couldn't have planned that. I couldn't have made that come together so great, and that's where all that gratitude comes from. So that bigger perspective is so important. Another thing he's adding, too, is he says, there's times that you're going to be able to flip the energy around in circumstances. He says, don't forget, you're all powerful creators. And so sometimes it's a matter of, as somebody or something that's occurring in your life, how can you rewrite the energy? How can you change the reaction? Because, You can't control what anybody else does or what happens on the outside of you, but you can take care of that reaction. You can understand it. And when you start to go in within yourself, you say, well, how could I react? What could I do in this circumstance? How could I love this situation? And sometimes loving that situation is walking away. Sometimes loving that situation is understanding that it's about them, not about you. Sometimes loving that situation is taking the time to sit down and figure out why it hurt so bad.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Erik, do you want to add any other advice before we take callers?
He said he's telling me to check you out, though. Check you out for your scalar work on this.
Huh?
He's telling me to mention your scalar work on this type of stuff that you had mentioned earlier. He's saying, yeah.
All right. I have an announcement. July 29th at 4:30 p.m. Central Time, I will stream live from my Atlantis Scalar YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know about the Atlantis Scalar channel, I will put a link in the description box. Please, after this video, go there and subscribe and hit the bell button so that you will be notified whenever I go live or post new content. So we're going to do this on a regular basis. And the first one, on July 29th at 4:30 p.m. Central Time, we're going to answer a bunch of questions related to scalar energy. And Courtney Dillon is going to be assisting me with channeling the information from Erik so we get the most accurate answers. So don't miss it, end quote. All right. Ready to take callers, people?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. This one looks, I think it might be international, so I better take it. From the 61417, it starts out with that. Hello, how are you doing?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Anybody home?
Serena. Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Where are you calling from? Yes.
Australia.
Nice.
Oh. Hello.
Awesome.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. And what is your first name again from Australia?
Serena. Serena.
Oh,
Serena.
What can we do for you, baby?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I just wanted to. Hi, Denise. Hi, Michelle.
Hello.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi.
I just wanted to touch. Hi, Erik. Oh my goodness, I nearly forgot Erik.
No.
I just wanted to touch up on the last call I made in regard to Erik said that I would be able to look outside the square of my business. You know, like you said, look outside the square, and I just trying to work out what that meant.
So what did you say about what did you say? I vaguely remember this.
I sort of said, how would my business survive, what's going on at the moment.
Oh,
and he said there'll be an opportunity for my business to expand and to look outside that square. And I'm looking, but I don't see, what more we can add.
All right. What you got for her, Erik? Michelle, you want to take this one, or Denise? I don't care.
The first thing that I'm getting is Erik's talking about energetically, because he says there's a vibrational shift, he says, that's going to help you be able to receive more information clearly. He says that it's really important for you to be optimistic, stay in a place of optimism, because he says that's going to allow you to connect to new ideas. And he says, and as those new ideas come in, they're going to help to give you some direction with your business. Because what he shows me is, he says there's room for expansion, but he says that it's not something that you're going to be able to think yourself into. It's to allow that information to come to you.
Oh, nice. What about you, Denise? Anything on that?
Well, I don't know what the color pink means, but Erik is showing me pink around it. So he says, hold the work or whatever it is that you do, hold it with, really love. Hold it in with love is what he's showing me. And when he was telling me, when you're saying outside of the square, he says, she's talking about the box. He's saying
the box.
don't limit yourself to what it is you do, because he says you're extremely creative. And he says, take what Michelle says and use that, but don't put limits on what it is that you're doing. And he just says, really, something with the color pink, just really keep it in, he's saying love. And there's such a gentleness about you. He says, keep allowing that to shine through.
Have you had closed portals open to bring in abundance with scalar energy?
Do I have closed portals?
No, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm just asking because a lot of times, the portal work will open up closed things in your energy that will allow, people who do it seem to get a lot of abundance of wealth and health and love. And it's great. I don't know if you've had that. But
it's more like, feels like one step forward, two steps back. That's what it feels like. For example,
If you need simple portal work, would that bring in the abundance you need, or is that not going to help?
He says it definitely can help, but she's also got to, instead of seeing it as she's two step backwards, she's getting an opportunity to reevaluate where she's been and look at it that way.
All right. Anyway, go to the AtlanticScalar.com site and go to the Start Here category and listen to some of the things that have happened to people that have had it, the abundance and just the overall transformation. It may give you hope. And also, when the news service, the harmful emotions things, I'm going to have Erik include pessimism in that to make All right. Thank you for calling.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, Serena.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay. Now let's see here. Hang on. We got pizza in the way here. All right. Now we got somebody from the 586 area code. Hi there. How you doing?
Hi, you.
Hey, Lambert.
This is Lambert.
Up?
Well,
I
just, before anything, I'd like to mention that you may be the most courageous person on this planet. We are very, very fortunate to have you and those that would look at your needs and help us as well. That has to come out, because what you say is truth, and through your eyes, and Erik's, it's far, far more understood. And you should be loved, and so should he, and so should everybody in heaven.
Yes, we all need.
Now I've got my question.
Yes.
To my son, brother, etc. What is my underlying diagnosis?
Why is he not getting well? He's got all sorts of troubles, physical troubles.
I don't think I've ever been given the true diagnosis.
Yeah.
What came to me so quick and what Erik was showing me is you're a teacher.
Yeah, definitely.
You're a teacher.
So what's the diagnosis? What's the medical diagnosis? I don't know if we can do that, but we can try.
Do I have MS without the marker? It's been brought up several times.
Multiple sclerosis without the marker.
Right.
Yeah.
I've had the blindness. I do.
Intermittent, yeah. So no, I don't know. Is that true, Erik? Does he, or yes or no?
I'm not getting that.
I get a no.
Mm-hmm.
A very clear no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then what would it be?
Is something external to him, like a curse, a vow that he made that needs to be broken, some nefarious thing? I mean, what is going on with Lambert?
Well, it's. I'll tell you how Erik's showing it to me. is he shows me that when you are in a, let's say, when your energy is of a teacher, of a healer, when you are in that direction and say there's bigger for you, there's more for you, there's something that's holding back in the body. And I see it more like, and I'm not saying that it is fibromyalgia, but he shows me like the body being affected, like mimicking illness. So you're having real physical symptoms, but you may not necessarily be able to have a specific diagnosis. And what Erik says is that's connected to change. There's some change to be made in your life.
Okay. Soon.
Well, what is that?
I take it.
What is that change?
Erik tells me that's for Lambert to go in and start taking it a piece at a time. This is for him to go in there and do that.
Is it something about him not doing what he's meant here to do, and his body, the universe is like making his body suffer until he realizes? Oh, that's what I'm getting to. Like, bam. Yeah. So he needs to fulfill his obligations, his plan, spiritual plan as a teacher. Is that it?
Yes, and I get in more. And I don't feel like the universe is doing this to him. I feel like this is what happens when we don't open up to our own self.
Yeah.
And it can be scary because Erik says in a couple of lifetimes, there's more, but in a couple of them, he was severely tortured.
Oh, wow.
So it can be frightening in this lifetime. I know it was scary for me to come out with this.
Yes.
I was severely tortured.
Yes.
Yeah.
What could I ask just quickly? Around what AD or BC?
Well, AD means after.
After Christ, after Yeshua.
It was after Christ, and then Erik says in before, one before and one after.
Oh, yeah, there's more than one lifetime. Yeah.
So
last question.
Okay, that can explain pain. That can explain, fear. That can explain self-loathing. All sorts of stuff with you. Go ahead. One more question, then we need to go to another caller. Even though I love you.
Oh, I know. God, I know. No, I was just wondering, and if it was after Christ, was I trying to espouse something at that time that might have been anti-religious to the masses or to the upper powers that be?
Was he tortured for vocalizing, for standing up for something or someone or a cause, anything?
I don't get that it was because he was standing up to something. I got it because he was doing his work, because a lot of us, when we have done this work, our healing work, or mediumship, whatever you want to call it, and that's what it was, like gypsies were given a bad name, and really they weren't, a bad thing. But yeah, that's what I get. That's what I get. Michelle, you?
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly what I get. That it's more of a you being who you naturally are, which is what is transferring in this lifetime. You being naturally who you are, and it's that same energy that is. We'll consider it like modern in modern times. It's the same type of energy.
Robert, I'm gonna mute you, but I want you to listen because I need to go to another caller. That I think it's very important that you need to book a session with Michelle or Denise to figure out, what you are here to do. Maybe Eric's going to tell you just do it on your, you have to figure it out on your own. I don't know, but it might be worth a session with a medium. Seriously. Anyway, all right. Okay, we'll go to the next person.
Bye, Lambert.
Bye, Lambert.
Bye, Lambert.
We talk all the time. He's my buddy. Birdie. All right, so 724 area code. Hi there, how you doing?
Hi, thanks for taking me this evening, everyone. This is Mandy.
Hey, Mandy.
Hi.
Where are you
The reason I was calling.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm calling from Southwestern PA, and the reason that I'm calling is anything about a residential move. Do you foresee that happening? And if so, just any details, how soon, or if I should avoid the move that is about to be in the works.
I think you are moving.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see, Michelle?
Yes, I'm seeing moving, and I'm feeling like this is something that's very close to now.
Yeah.
So it's not in the distant future. Like, it's already in motion.
Mm-hmm.
Is it good or bad? I mean, not
good
or bad. Is it going to be a positive move for her?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's like this. Yes, it's an opportunity, and to follow with that same mindset, it'll bring opportunity.
Awesome. All right, thank you, Mandy, for calling from PA.
Oh, wow.
Hope you're moving to Texas. Probably not. Too hot over here. Okay, somebody from the 415 area code. Hi there. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. This is
Good.
Jessica.
Hey,
Thanks for
Jessica.
taking my call.
Well,
Hey.
it's an honor. It's an honor.
Wondering what you're picking up as far as, so it kind of has a little bit to do with your topic and a little bit about the moving thing also. So I'm living in a town right now that I'm not crazy about. I know I'm moving. I haven't gotten direction as far as like where I'm moving yet, but while I'm here, I do occasionally get ideas of like how I want to improve or like contribute to the community. And then I go offer the ideas to the mayor or whoever else is in the head of stuff. And they're very stuck in their ways and,
politics.
Quick to anger and they have issues, they don't really work on themselves. So I'm just wondering as far as I feel a little torn because I don't really like interacting with them, these people, but yet I don't think that I'm just supposed to do nothing while I'm still here.
Well, you have to interact with them. Can't you make it a grassroots thing? Just to go from the bottom up? Like start with the people in your community?
No, it definitely has to, it's something that I want to be paid for my contribution. And, this is like a year and a half I've been doing stuff. I have been doing stuff for free, but not anymore.
No. So, Erik,
so
what
I just was...
Yeah.
Should she stay and fight? Should she move? What should she do, Erik? Sorry to cut you off.
Well, Erik says she has her answers right already, because what's in front of her is what's going to be in front of her.
Is she going to stay and fight and just have to take it to another person in the government or whatever?
No, they're not major issues. It's just like I want to be part of improving communities that I live in. I want to be part of the community, like a key player.
Yeah.
Erik says that isn't going to happen right now, but he says that you can be a key player doing other stuff that may not constitute an additional pay or pay for doing that. And he says it's really about how you want it. And he says, they're not going to see things your way because that's just not where they are. And he says, and that's okay. So what he's saying, look to see where you are with this and what you're willing to do and not do, and start enforcing that. And when he says enforcing it, he doesn't mean force it, but start putting that into action and go, well, I know if I go do this, this, and this, I'm not going to be a key player, but I can do these other things, and I can still feel good and do this and move forward. So Erik says he says it's about how you look at how you're viewing it, what it is you want to do. He says, because they're not going to change right now.
All right. Another thing, I think that this is your whole life ahead of you. I think you should talk to one of these gals, really, book a session or or the yes or no questions that they offer, etc. All right, we better go to the next caller. I'm going to try to get in as many as I can. So if I catch all of them, I'm so sorry. But we really need to spread the love a little bit. All right, got somebody from the, what is it? 443 area code. Hi there.
Hi, my name is Suzanne. How are you?
Hi, Suzanne. Fine. How are you?
Hi. I'm doing great. I wanted to say first how grateful I am that you all are doing this kind of work. It's really helpful for all of us out here. I'm on a new path. What? Oh, a new spiritual awakening path. And I've been told that things are changing for me, so I was excited to hear what you had to say, and I'll be going to your link tonight on the YouTube to listen to the other things. But I've been told that my gift comes through my family, my grandmother and grandfather on my father's side, who I did not know.
Wow.
And I'm just wondering if Erik sees anything, if they're around me, and if they are, I want to know what to call them so I can talk to them.
That's a good idea.
They come in the color blue for me, and I don't know why everything always comes in colors. I'm not artistic or creative or anything like that, but Erik shows me in the color blue. Erik says you can call them whatever you choose to call them, but he says you can call them godparents, not as in like your godparent, like some people do here when they get, I don't know, baptized or whatever. But he says you can call them godparents. But, he says there are good things coming your way. And when you said you're on this new path, it's not that you're on a new path. It's now you're aware you're on this path.
I've just realized it.
Yes, you've been on it. You've been on it since you were a young kid.
Wow.
Really, since you came here. But now you're aware that you're on this path. But Erik says he's telling me to be quiet, and he's telling me to let Michelle chime in because she has something.
Okay.
That's funny because he's giving me visuals here, and I'm writing down what he's saying so I don't forget. But it's interesting, Denise, that you said blue, because blue is exactly what came through. And I saw a big blue orb, and I asked, who is that? And what Erik shares with me is you're connected to the energy of Merlin. And so that is also manifestation. Yes. Yes. Okay. That is, you have a lot of creativity, and you're also, it's like manifestation, being able to manifest your journey. Because what Erik says is, think of this so much about as this specific blueprint that you have to figure out exactly, okay, why exactly am I here and what am I supposed to do? He says this is about you creating it. This is about you understanding that you came into this life this way, with this energy, with these abilities, and then finding what is in your heart's desire, unleashing creativity, and how would you like to bring this into the world from this point forward with this awareness.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
It is. Very cool.
Thank you for calling that. You need to digest that for a little bit. That's a big one. Woo.
It is.
All right, sorry, but we're going to go to the next one, 504 area code. Hi there, how are you?
Hi, thank you. My name is Debbie.
Hi, Debbie.
I am from Louisiana, and I was wondering, my mom moved in with me, and it was kind of okay while I was working, but I just quit a job. So our energy is, not really meshing right now. She's doing some weird stuff, and I want to know if there's anything that I could do to feel more comfortable, because I'm not sleeping well.
Does she, Erik or Michelle, can you ask Erik, does she have any dementia or any cognitive problems that are causing, or any medical issues, any emotional issues, psychiatric issues, anything like that causing this?
There's fear in her energy. Do you know what the fear would be?
She's always got a lot of fear. She is she's intuitive, and she just I mean, maybe there's some paranoia too about all these people that are not good. Probably money. Probably that she has to live with me and she doesn't want to live with me, and it's just I'm sure
there's a fear of change, like a fear of there's a fear of the future, but there's also fear of I do get people, but it's like there's an energy underneath of it. Like she could use some scalar work. She could use a little bit of help in that direction. That would help with the energy, like having the portals taken care of in your home, in your bodies. That's one thing. But like there's some changes that are going to take place. And I'll tell you, her energy with that fear, it's like she senses things as well, but she goes to the negative.
Right.
She goes to the worry, and that does create an imbalance because there's like an equilibrium imbalance between the two of you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not scared. I mean, I lost a job, but I already have one promised to me, and I just need to rest before the next one, and she's not letting me rest.
Mm-hmm. Erik, if we did portal work on her ASAP, how many days would it take to afterwards to see a significant change in her energy?
I'm seeing 5 to 8.
Okay.
So I would say days, not months.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, but you're going to have that job pretty soon. Anyway, I know what it's like to have a parent under your skin. So we wish you well, girl.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the new job.
Do you think that there's a portal in my house?
Oh, most people have lots of them. I mean, not.
Don't take that as. Don't be afraid of that at all or anything.
No, I just want to close it. I'd like to go. No. I'd like to close it.
It will help. It will help. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, just watch the videos on the when you get to that page. It's on the Start Here category. In the AtlantaScalar.com, and you just watch the videos first to see if the chemistry see if the energy feels right. You use your intuition to guide you in what to do with your mom. Okay.
Okay. Do you think there's a medical problem besides?
I don't. What do you think? I mean, I do. What's your first name?
Floyd.
Okay. Do you guys are you picking up anything?
I do feel a little. Sorry, Denise.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say I do pick up a little bit of paranoia and maybe from some dementia.
Okay.
Yes,
that can be
I got
first
that too.
time. That could be the first time. But hey, we have the improved cognitive memory service, and boy, that's been helping a lot of people's old parents. It's amazing. We don't have the dementia, the Alzheimer's one yet because we're still testing that, but we can't
go
release
to your website.
Huh?
What's your website, you said?
Oh, it's AtlantaScalar.com.
Atlantis, okay.
But, just what I advise to people is the most important thing is the super portal work because sometimes that takes care of everything. So it's really easy to sit there and over-order. Oh, well, she's depressed, so I'm going to get the depression thing. Or she has addiction, so I'm going to do the addiction thing. But a lot of times, all of it's taken care of with just the super portal work. So you got to be really careful and take baby steps and not over-order. I really think that's very important. You just get only what you need, and we'll guide you along the way.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you, Debbie.
Okay.
Call back in a couple of weeks. Oh, I forgot I'm going to Jellystone Park next week with the grandkids, so I'm not going to be able to do portal work until the week after that. Anyway, but I will. I'm a workhorse. All right, so we got somebody from the 787 Bird Sanctuary house. Hello.
Hi. How is everyone?
Good. You got the birdie?
Good.
You got some birds?
Nice to hear. Yeah, little frogs, cookies. Yes, I'm calling.
Oh, okay. So how can we help you?
I want to, first of all, I want to say that I'm very grateful for this program because it's been amazing, very, very useful. I'm actually calling because I've been going through a rough patch lately, and it's been very difficult to connect with my guides, and I've even tried to, contact Erik and see if he could help me with that, and I wanted to see if he had any messages for me or things that I can do to continue my work.
What's your first name?
Guys, yeah.
My name is Michelle.
Michelle. Oh. Right away, what I got was when you said that about doing your work is Erik says the person that needs to believe in you the most is you.
Okay.
And he says, so you don't have to have that whole pizza and go, I got to believe in myself. I got to believe in myself. I'm not doing it. He says, just take one little thing each day and say, I believe in myself. I believe in myself that I know I'm going to brush my teeth today. I believe in myself because I know I'm going to take a shower today or whatever. He says, start with those little things. He says, start believing in yourself because he shows me you have a lot of fear surrounding you.
A fear about doubt with your abilities, maybe? Is that it?
Just real unsure about a lot of things is what he's showing me.
Well, that scalar work for the harmful emotions will help that because that's one of them: uncertainty, fear, self-confidence, and stuff. All right. So, but she has mad skills, Erik?
She has what?
Does she have mad skills, abilities? And can you coach her on, as far as her abilities are concerned?
Well, she's Erik says she has abilities to connect with, everybody has their forte. Some people connect with angels or whatever. But he's showing me, Michelle, that you connect with the galactic type energy.
Yeah.
And Erik says you just believe what it is you're getting, because when you start to put it in with your humanness, none of it's going to make sense. And as Michelle mentioned earlier, write it down.
Maybe that's it. Because she's channeling the galactic side of things, then, it's hard for her to, make sense of that all from a human perspective. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah, cool. and as the other Michelle said earlier, Erik says there's something about writing this stuff down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's really good that you said that, because when I heard that earlier, it struck me. It really did.
Yeah. You channel. That'll help you channel because it's flowing through your hands, and because a lot of what comes into you when you sit to try and think it or you put it through your head, it doesn't come out the right way. It will, but for right now, really let it flow through the writing.
Maybe call upon Adrian, our lovely call person. Call upon him for help, since he's a beautiful celestial being. Yeah.
Yes.
Try to start channeling. He can be a wonderful God.
Just think freedom. Think freedom. Put no restrictions on yourself and think freedom, and just allow yourself to flow, and know just because you think they're not there, you're not connecting, they are right there. I'll tell you, I can feel it.
Watch our 3 recent YouTubes on the Channeling Erik site with Adrian, so you can get to know his energy and really try to connect with him, and maybe you can start with him having conversations and writing them down, automatic writing wise. That's my feeling is.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
Wow.
I can't wait to find out your progress. I want you to call us back, okay?
Thank you very much. I will.
You're welcome, Michelle. You take care.
Bye, Michelle.
Bye, Michelle. Awesome name.
Yeah, you think? Okay. Listen, we got somebody from the 813 area code. Hi there. How you doing? Hi there. Who are we speaking with?
Hi, my name is Luz. How you doing, girl ladies? How you doing, Erik? I am so excited. I got to be talking. I've been trying for so long. My question is generally, basically, what would my future, like in this coming 6 months, would be looking like? I mean, I'm also trying to buy a house. I mean, I have a lot of things going on. So also personally, if Erik has anything that he shine a light into what's going on with me.
Erik, what does she need to hear from you the most? Because there are a lot of questions there. So
I know, Michelle.
The most important.
Yes. Is there something with family? Are you wanting to add to your family or grow with your family somehow?
Right now, I live in Florida. I am originally from Puerto Rico. Not really. Not that I,
Trying to
come
keep
to my mind right now.
Here or anything, or okay. Well, so Erik, what does she need to know, sweetie?
I'll tell you what I got was when you were talking is not to focus on what it is you want most right now, and start massaging that and playing with that and have fun with it, because he says you got a lot of projects going on and they're not really fun for you right now. It's more of a to-do list you got to get done. So start with something that you really want. If it's you really want a new purse, have fun with getting that. He said, you said about buying a house, have fun with that, playing with it, how you'd like to decorate it, how you'd like it to feel, the colors of the room. He says, start with those things. And he says, and as you start condensing this, then it allows the other things to grow, and then you'll be able to think a little bit clearer on what it is. I don't know what it is about the family, but I also get something with Michelle with family. So I don't know if there's an addition or
there's something to
connection.
Do with, it could be you could be having some sort of a connection, something that, I mean, you don't have awareness to it yet, but when you said 6 months, the first thing that came in was something to do with family.
Mm-hmm. So I do have 3 old, grown men. They're not married yet, but they could be in addition to the family. They have girlfriends, so they'll be welcome too.
You never know. Oh, we gotta go, guys. I want to close.
I am so happy.
We have 40 seconds.
Thank you, Erik.
Thank you, calling, and you guys check out Denise Ramon at deniseramon.com, making it easy. Unlike Michelle Gray, whose website is always fumble, and it's thehealing-art.com. You guys, I am not going to be doing the radio show when I'm in Kerrville, so just to let you know that too, Michelle. I mean, you can hold it on your own, but it's a vacation. I need some. That's it, guys. Love you. Check out our landscape.com. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Good night.